Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of rambling about PC stuff. So we started with power supplies, and this is going to be about motherboards, but I have to first do a small little update to the power supply stuff. Flashbang. So if you remember, I showed the RM1000E and I showed the RM1000X from 2021, and this one was the 3.0. So I one thing I had not figured out and I now know is that actually there's in-cable capacitors not in the RM1000E, and so that's where you get a little bit extra of the ripple on the 12 volt is because it doesn't have in-cable capacitors, and so it's not just about cable thickness. And then in the RM1000X from 2021, I was saying how it had pretty good ripple, but I couldn't figure out why. It was actually in cable capacitors, so they had caps to smooth out the power, and then yeah, you would get way better. This is way more accurate up to 100% load. Actually insane. Mine specific wasn't as good. Maybe my cables were messed up, I don't know, or like somehow lower quality, but they were supposed to be really good, and then this was supposed to perform better, but like I was saying, it was somehow performing worse than my RM1000E. But and then yeah, so the RM1000X newer, so this was 2.4. This is ATX 2.4. It's so old, 2021. It might even, yeah, it doesn't even say where. Anyways, this is 3.1, the newer 2024, and then they no cable capacitors, and watch the ripple. Looks like the RM1000E. So then, yeah, it's a small little. Okay, now we get into motherboards. I guess we could start with this. Well, I was gonna start with this one, but for Intel, let's specific look at just one series. There's the 60, 70, and then the 90, and the difference is memory and IA, which is the cores, which is yeah CPU overclocking, and then this one's BCLK as well, which is the ZW is workstation. So anyways, and then I'm gonna start though with the AMD side, where theirs is their top end is actually 70, and then it's like a 50, and it's just yeah naming confusing. This one's going to be about motherboards, and it's funny to go into the power supply stuff at the beginning, but it was still interesting and important because I want your system to be stable for all the extra stuff I'm going to be recommending in the future. So then I wanted to show this. I had this board. It was an X570 UD from Gigabyte, and some of the notable things. So this is up to Ryzen 5000 series, had a 5900X in it after a 3600 I started with, and then I had upgraded to a 5900X, and I was using this board, and I had DDR4 2 sticks, and yeah, it's 10-2 phases. PCI 4, pretty decent VRM cooling. It's kind of a budget board, like cheap, but and ultra durable, supposed to be like long lasting, yeah. Not just about performance, but the stronger clip, the ultra durable thing, the strong shielding, the enforced pins on the CPU, you know, like normal stuff, and then it's saying like made for Ryzen 10 and 2. Yeah. I believe the 2 is the sock. Um it's VRM and then sock or something. And then RAM, the third number, which this one doesn't even mention a third number, but then it had Q flash. This is some of the features, or there's even E flash, or the one for asus, like being able to flash your BIOS is really nice. And then yeah, the solid CPU pins and solid ATX pins to carry more power, but also handle more and stay cooler and all that shit. The stronger clip, things that you look for. One of the downsides was actually how it's impossible to undo this clip if you have a big GPU. You have to like reach, and then especially if you have the CPU cooler, like how do you actually reach this thing? So there's no easy clip for this, and it even came with some extra stuff you don't even want, especially nowadays. But then yeah, if you go into, I think it's specs of this, So it's not just talking about motherboards. I want to actually show you some stuff. So yeah, they rate this board for 4733 OC on the RAM, which is pretty high. So basically what that would mean is that their top kit for memory would be rated for that. You actually have to download the list, and then it's for each specific CPU architecture as well of what you're going to be guaranteed. So then what that speed was matching up to is see, it's refer to the memory support list. So yeah, it's saying, and then it's saying this, but is this dual channel? Or is this, and then is it dual rank? Because it's even talking about 2 rank versus single rank. And then it's talking about 1 rank, dual rank, and 16 gigabytes. Because 8 gigs, 16 gigs is also a thing. Having to fit all those mem. And then, yeah, it technically says up to 4, but then I'm assuming you're not going to get 4733 with 4. If you actually looked at the list, it would be way lower. And then, yeah, I was running like 3600, 3800, which it apparently doesn't even like 3800. And then the highest I peaked was 4133, which more matches up to what it started to like these weird 133s instead of doing the smooth 3800. Which was kind of not great for Ryzen because you want to run 3800 with the 1900 fabric. But yeah, that's just to start here. And then, yeah, it was to show the how you would have the memory support list, and then it shows you how you have the CPU. And then I'll show you this part. After you get your board, you have your CPU, you have your correct memory, you're getting your board set up, you want to finally do your setup, I recommend you go here and you go get your chipset driver to update the for your AMD CPU. You want this, and then you want the APU for the internal graphics of the CPU if you have it, and then also, even depending on your GPU, get your GPU drivers, update your audio drivers, get your LAN for your internet. You could get your SATA for your storage, and then once you've done all the updates, like especially the chipset and your graphics drivers, if you have like an NVIDIA, you get the NVIDIA drivers, for example. After you do all that, then you would check your BIOS, and so you would open like system information, and you pull up this page where you see your BIOS version, and you could compare it against the one on the page for your motherboard, for example, and then you update. So the reason to update is for reasons like this. On the right here, it tells you, and it's different depending on what you have. So this was AMD specific I started with, and then I'm going to be doing Intel after this because I'm more Intel now, but I was AMD, so I figured I should still cover this board and some of the important stuff. But basically, I would always recommend just use the latest unless there's like I don't even think there's usually many, like when they're verified like this, then they're good. They're usually good to go, and there really shouldn't be any issues. And then it would be fixed in a future BIOS update anyway, so then it would be good to keep updating your BIOS is the whole point. If there was an issue. All right, so that's the Gigabyte UD. Let's get over that. After that, I had issues with my CPU. I had messed up on my AMD, so I went Intel, and I had a 13600K and a H770 that I got off Amazon. It was a Prime deal. That's why it's the Prime one. It was a Prime sale. And then like if you actually look at this board, there's no heatsink, no VRM cooling on the top, just this, and like it's just this little dinky thing. And so later I'll tell you already, a spoiler, I already sold this. I have this board now, but when I sold it, the guy was like, yo, where's the heatsink, bro? It was so funny because seriously, you really think like it's missing, but yeah, it just was never there in the first place. Anyways, so now that we gone over the like driver stuff and the other like memory setup stuff, I'm gonna go over more of the actual motherboard stuff to show you like the differences. So yeah, this is Intel, and then it's LGA 1700, and then 13600K is very similar to a 5900X, except it's just faster in the single core, but it's comparable in the all core. And then yeah, it's saying this thing is ready for advanced AI PC, whatever that meant. You could have your 12th to 14th gen, yep, for the 700 series, and then PCIe 5, so you could get the new like 50 series, 5000 series of the new GPUs, like a 5070, for example. You got your fast RAM, all that. The big VRM heatsink, the M2 heatsink, the PCH heatsink, hybrid fan headers. There's a bunch of fan headers, and then they have fan expert. Optimum 1, by the way. This shit's sick. It might even be Optimum 2, actually. I'll show you after. But getting you better memory traces, getting you better memory overclocks. This board was a H770, so if you go back, it supported memory overclock. It's the same as the 760. Why 770? I don't know, dude. H and B. Yep. This is what I had gotten. And then this was sick though. The memory overclocking on this was immediately better than the X570, where it was showing those really high numbers of overclock and I had pretty good RAM. I had a kit of Corsair Vengeance RGB RT 3600 CL16. It's good stuff. It was good stuff. It's really good on the Intel. It was just AMD holding it back. Anyways, the Optimum helped a lot. And then when you actually go down here, it was it's Optimum 1, I guess, actually. Okay. And then yeah, I ran dual channel. And then it was H770 chipset. So then it was the Intel memory controller on a 13600K. So it was the 13th gen memory controller for my memory, which that's where it felt way better than the 5000 series Ryzen memory controller. Yeah. And it had the DigiVRM cooling. Look, dude, the heatsink. That's it. No way, dude. Okay, it's gonna get better, don't worry. The Pro Cool connector, just like the X570, it's pretty standard. You had your stronger clip, pretty standard. PCI 5.0 for the 5000 series, like I say. The new GPUs. And then, okay. This is a super old board. I can't even show you, I don't think. Yeah, so this is a P8 Z770, ran a 3770K. I was just gonna show that, like, the CPU's compatible. It's so old. And then drivers were literally like Windows 10, and yeah. And then the BIOS, the latest BIOS was 2014. Okay. That's all. I can't really show you it other than like looking it up, but yeah, just know that this was a thing. It's an Asus BIOS. It had multi-core enhancement on, and it was pretty cool. And it had Intel 3770K, ran this. Then we have, I got this one, tell the story. Went to Canada Computers. I was gonna buy some Gigabyte Z790 or something. And then when I went there, they had this. It was open box, and it said pin verified on the box on a tag, and then it also said the Wi-Fi antennas were missing. And I thought about it. I go, I don't even use Wi-Fi. I connect Ethernet, and then the Wi-Fi is still there. It's just the antenna. So I was like, let me see the pins, and I see the pins, and they look pretty fucked up, and I'm like, well, if it doesn't work, they say they can return it. So I took it home, I try it, it didn't work, I return it the next day, they say we can't return it, and then I'm like, I guess I'm gonna try to fix this board. So then I bring it home, I notice there's like metallic shit in the RAM, like along the middle channel of 3 of them was like this metallic shiny shit. Instead of you see this black and it's not shiny, it was metallic shiny, almost like a liquid that dried at the bottom of these three, and I go, what the hell? And then the pins were kind of fucked up, and I also just imagined that maybe a BIOS update, just cleaning it, you know, all that shit. So what I did, which let me, like, this board's insane, but anyway, so I fixed the CPU pins because with LGA 1700, the pins go in two directions. They on the top side, you see the from where my mouse is all the way down here to the right and down, all this is actually in the same direction, and these all go in the same direction. So it's only two like directions basically, and so you could flatten them one way and flatten them the other side, and it kind of isn't as it isn't as hard as you would expect to fix the CPU pins in this one specifically, because it doesn't have to be as accurate where yeah, anyways, and then I cleaned the RAM slots with a toothbrush with 99% rubbing alcohol, and I also cleaned this, and then I updated the BIOS after, because this board, so now I'll show some stuff. It's a really nice board, but one of the cool things was it had Optimum 3, but it has a lot of shit, but wait. Oh, okay, whatever. I'll just tell you then. I can't find it. It has the thing where you do the from a USB to update the BIOS, and then I didn't even have to have the CPU or anything in. You could just plug in a USB with the BIOS. You click this switch for 3 seconds, and it would do the BIOS flash without a CPU, without RAM, without the graphics. So just power connected, and like it's two 8-pin CPU. It's the ATX. You have your graphics. Has all this extra SATA on the side. A ton of fan headers. Just an absolute fucking shit ton of fan headers. You can't even see all of them. They're back here. 16 1, and then I think it's 2. 16 plus 1 plus 2 was the Oh, and then yeah, you have your clear CMOS BIOS flashback, and then yeah, this thing you have to hold it for like 3 seconds with the BIOS, and then you have to wait till it stops being lit up, and you have to wait till it restarts a few times and all this shit. So like, there's so many ways for user error to fuck this up. The fact that the RAM had the shiny shit in it, so I think it was multiple things that caused this board to not work. And when I did all of it and I got it to work, I got the board to work. This is my board now. I've been using this, but yeah, this board is actually insane. Like, look at this VRM cooling compared to the H770, and like, look at the look at the stuff. We got the caps and the chokes and the MOSFETs, and it's like the black caps are really good. And then yeah, 16.1, and I'm pretty sure it's 16.1.2, and then Optimum 3 is insane. I'm able to get 4133 CL17 on the same RAM. It's amazing. Just because of the board, and then the traces are really good, and the RTLs and the IOL is really good too. And then it has, this board had AI overclocking. It has it only says the 16.1, but it's 16.1.2, I'm pretty sure. Does it show it here? But then it shows the max memory. So you remember how I was showing that the other one was 47 and that looked pretty high? 5333. If you check this one, so this is where you actually get to kind of see, like, this is what they're certifying. This is what they're claiming. This is what they can be kind of held accountable to, what you should expect in a way. This is what is certified, basically, is what they've called it before. 5133 on my H770 with the Optimum 1, and then with the Optimum 3, 5333. And it's actually older series of board. Like, this is the 600 series, while this was the 700 series. So it's like super impressive, you know? Yeah. I have more to show. So that was that. I wanted to show the 16+1 though. I can't find it. Connectivity, not that. Cooling, nope. Oh, it'd be here. 16.1. Come on, give me the extra. Fine. 6-layer PCB helps with cooling. Networking, Optimum, PCI perform. This is the certified for your QVL for, yeah, everything. So good. Then you have your advanced. For this board, I had to disable some of the audio stuff because there's like 3 audio things and they overlap and you have too much audio enhancement or something. But yeah, that's a whole nother thing. And then, yeah, it technically has TPU insight, EPU guidance, the fan, the digi, and extra app. But okay, so now I show you this. There's also this board. It's a Z790 tough. So this was a ROG. ROG's like nearly top of the line. And then I showed you like a more budget one. So now this is not ROG, but still insane. It's like they're ultra durable of that Gigabyte one, but while still being like top of the line. So coming with advanced AI, it's for Intel, same socket, DDR5, crazy VRM cooling, nice M2 heatsink, another M2 heatsink, the reinforced slot. You can already start to see all the stuff now. You start to really, you can see the SATAs are just here, SATAs here, a little bit less SATA, a little bit less stacked, weird up instead of maybe like quite a lot of fans, but maybe a little bit less than the ROG Strix, right? Still quite a few, maybe in some weirder places. Oh, the ROG Strix, one of the coolest things is it actually has these lights that light up to give you like LED. So it's a CPU, RAM, GPU, and then the BIOS. And it has different colors for each one, and that's been really nice. It's basically, honestly, in my opinion, as good as having the display with the error code. Probably not as good for like exact thing, but it's way better than nothing. When you go from you have not seen any lights for your computer ever like this, and then to have the debug LEDs, it's really nice. But yeah, this one didn't have that. Just don't have any issues, it'll be fine. And then yeah, this one, so the other one didn't mention the amps per stage, but then yeah, 16.1, so it's the same amount. And then you have the big heatsink too. But this one doesn't have the AI overclocking. It only has AI cooling. And then, yeah, apparently it can do 7200 on the memory, but it's DDR5, so that's different. Where the DDR4 being able to hit those speeds was actually fucking crazy. 5333 is insane. I haven't done that. I personally didn't do it. I stopped at 4133. It's already really high, so I think it's possible, though. And then you'll also see this is Optimum 2, not 3. And so now we've seen all 3. You have the Optimum 1 on this one, which was actually pretty good compared to the Optimum 3. It's because this board really was just mostly about memory overclocking while not doing anything else. Didn't care about the CPU, nothing. So when you're not doing the CPU as much, you actually do have more headroom for the memory because the memory controller's on the CPU, and if it doesn't have to handle the cores as much, then it can handle the memory more. Just a thing. It's like your memory controller had more headroom. Anyways, so yeah, AI cooling's pretty cool. You got the power save and your UFEI. The Armory Crate auto installs, so if you don't want it, be careful. And then in the power design, you have the 1611. So this is where really I think mine's a 1612. And then the 2, I believe, is memory, which helps for the memory overclock, which is where if this had 2 for the DDR5 with better Optimum, it would be way better. But then you're getting into better board territory probably at that point. Where you expect more overclocking, where this is less overclocking. Still the 6-layer PCB, still the 8-pin, and it's 2 8-pin, I believe it was, right? Yeah, 2 8-pins for this too. So it's really made for CPU overclocking, more for the memory on this one. And then you have your tough chokes and tough caps. So they're not the same as the ROG ones, I guess, because they were called 10K with ROG or something. And then you have tough gaming, alliance, tough protection. You have your super strong land guard. The back panel surviving. It's pretty cool. Okay. Now are you guys ready? The top of the line. Best of the best. Absolute fucking nuts. The coconuts. That's not high quality. Let's get. Oh, okay. Wait. Let me start from here though. 24.1 DDR5, 5 M2 slots, PCI 5.0, NVMe, 2 5.0 times 16 safe slots, Thunderbolt 4, front panel connector, quick charge 4, 60 watts, AI overclocking, AI cooling. So you can see how AI overclocking is extra, and then for the ROG board to have it is actually crazy. Anyways, continue. 105 amp. You remember how these were like 60 amp and it was 16? So you could do the math. It's 16 by 60, where this is it's way higher, wasn't it? Wait. Yeah, 60. And then this is 105. And it's still the two 8-pins. Holy shit. And then yeah, you have all that stuff. AI overclocking, AI cooling, multiple audio things. That's what I was saying about my ROG one. That board looks crazy. Advanced AI. AI overclock. Their memory goes to 7800. So where this one was 72, 66 apparently here it's showing, but did they get higher after? Because it showed higher up here, wasn't it? 72. Yeah. And then this one did 78 plus. Wait. Single. So it's not dual rank, but it is dual channel. It's single rank. All of these at the highest are single rank. That's okay. That makes sense though. Decent voltages though, wasn't too high. Okay, then we continue. So this is where yeah, it's gonna get insane. So yeah, you have you could hover this. And it goes 10K black metallic caps. You got your microfine alloy chokes. You got your 2412. So you see how at the best it does the extra 2, and then I'm pretty sure that's for the memory, the RAM. And it had the 2 8-pin ProCool 2 to stabilize the 12 volt. And then memory. Domination for beyond the 7K. AEMP 2. Enhanced memory. So it's not XMP anymore. It's AEMP. Whoa. Whoa. That much more? Well, wouldn't they want to show it at what it could do and then with it? Oh, they're showing here. It's like 57 and then it scored 68 with it. What the fuck, 1,000 higher? Yeah, okay. That's pretty good. And then yeah, AI overclocking, the overclocker toolkit. A BIOS switch. Lots of cool true Voltican. That's really sick. And the huge ass heatsink. Look at the cooling on this. It has heat pipes. This thing's crazy. Chipset heatsink. Got the solid metal backplate. So it even has a backplate for the back to keep it. So even with the multi-layer PCB, then it even has extra cooling plate, thermal pad, and a heat pipe. Yeah, this is saying aluminum choke connected cover via an embedded heat pipe to increase mass and surface area. Yeah, it's a heat pipe. Nice. I was looking for how many fan headers. Oh, it apparently has a ROG fan controller on the back. What? So you get way more fan headers and in a more accessible spot. And even these are all, holy, water flow, water in and out, water pump. There's so many senses. What? USB-C. That's the antenna I was talking about. It's the same one. Isn't that funny? And then yeah, audio shield, multiple audio things though. And then yeah, caps all the way down there. It was even on the ROG Strix board. AI cooling this and the AI network, which is kind of the stuff they've done with their routers, I'm pretty sure, is like somewhat put into their motherboard slash the software for just running on your computer, it seems. Because their routers are really good. Anime Matrix LED. This is where, like, technically unnecessary. You don't need it. You probably don't need the debug stuff either, like this QR code thing or whatever. You probably don't need a bunch of, like, maybe the case button stuff, because, like, you could just connect your case, start and restart or whatever to the motherboard. Like, you don't need this. There's a bunch of excess, but it's extreme. It's got to be the best, top of the line, has everything, you know, don't miss it. Like, I don't know about some of this, you know what I mean? But it just shows you like what's possible on a single motherboard. And then really, like, you don't feel like you're missing out on a bunch of this stuff because you don't need it. And you realize what the main selling features actually are, which is like the chipset, your CPU, the VRMs, the exact like amount of stages, and if you get an extra +2 for the memory, for example, to get your memory better, to be able to get cheaper kits that are then able to run more consistently on your board, and you don't need to get the exact kit that's perfect tested for your board. You could get one that isn't tested, but you know it's going to work because of how good the board is, for example. It can make like most kits work. So then having some headroom on it, for example, and then yeah, there's even the AI overclocking that's been pretty crazy, which is what some people have been freaking out about. But then it's also actually a feature that is a bonus up thing that you'd have to do more for. This didn't have it. The Tough doesn't have it. The ROG has it. But then, yeah, the Maximus, obviously, yeah. But yeah, it's funny how Optimum 3 actually insane. And then, yeah, now they're all on DDR5, though. My shit's DDR4. It's still pretty good, though. 4133 CL17 is really good. And, yeah, like, I'm happy with this board of the older gen. I don't need the newest, and I don't need the extreme. You could tell, like, it already has a lot of the actual, like, functional stuff that you actually need. It's just with the higher quality components, I'd say, is one of the biggest differences, where it'd be functional, like if you had the better caps and chokes and all that stuff, and potentially even more power stages, but you probably don't need it. Yeah. Either way, this is my motherboard ramble vid. The main thing you guys should take away is that if you have never updated the drivers from this driver page, that's where you start. And then, like I say, after doing that, you check your system information. It's in Windows. You do system information in the search, and then you check what BIOS version you're on, and then you would update your BIOS. And then, yeah, make sure to select your Windows. And then, yeah, you would just download your drivers. You could even check like what you have in your add or remove currently to see what version you're on of certain things. Maybe you already had some of it. And then, yeah, the BIOS, when you know you're stable. Nice. Well, either way, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys enjoyed my rambling about motherboards video. And yeah, the in-cable capacitors of power supplies is pretty cool. The problem with that, technically, the main downside of in-cable capacitors for your power supplies was that it makes the cables less flexible. So that's why people don't like it, because they want to be able to route their cables and do cable management. And then if they can't, they blame the cable, but it's actually a good cable that was making good ripple and good stability and good performance, being accurate, but it's fine. Either way, bye.